Welcome to This Explainer. If just hearing the words job interview makes your heart rate spike and your palms sweat, well, you're definitely not alone. Studies actually show it's one of our top fears, right up there with public speaking and, spiders. But hey, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're on a mission to completely demystify the interview process and get that anxiety way, way down. We're going to transform how you view the whole shebang, taking it from a stressful interrogation right into a dynamic, engaging conversation.
To do that, we need to completely reframe your mindset right out of the gate. An interview is not just some one-sided test where an employer sits in judgment of you. No way. It's an empowering, mutual evaluation. Sure, they're trying to figure out if you're the right fit for them, but honestly, it's just as much your opportunity to assess the job, the organization, and decide if they're the right fit for you. As you'll see today, job interviews should absolutely be a process of two-way communication.
Okay, so to get us to that level of confidence, here's our roadmap for This Explainer. We're going to walk chronologically through 5 key stages. 1. The crucial prep work. 2. Mastering first impressions. 3. Navigating the questions. 4. The phone interview screen. And finally, 5. The strategic follow-up.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the crucial prep work before you walk in.
Now, this phase happens long before you ever shake hands. It's a 3-step pregame checklist, and it all kicks off with self-evaluation. Because, well, you kind of have to know yourself before you can sell yourself, right? This means sitting down and actively thinking about how your past experiences map to this new position. But it goes deeper than that. You need to articulate your career goals, the skills you have, and the skills you actually want to develop. You even need to define your lifestyle priorities, things like location, salary, and your ideal work environment. Once you've got that locked down, you move on to researching the company and then practicing your answers until it feels like second nature.
So, for that research phase, your very first stop should absolutely be the company's website. You've got to become a digital detective here. Gather intel. Are they international or domestic? What are their revenues? How many locations do they have? And what exactly are their major products? Why do all this? Well, companies are super proud of their websites. Don't be surprised if literally the first question they ask when you sit down is, "So, have you had a chance to look at our website?" You want to hit them with an enthusiastic yes, and then immediately drop a specific detail you learned.
Prep work also covers how you physically show up. Visual impressions matter so much. Now, a full suit isn't always the vibe these days. The smart move is to contact HR, ask for the dress code, and then dress exactly one level above it. If it's a business casual office, guys might rock a sport coat and dress pants, and women might go with a pantsuit or a skirt and blouse. If you're ever in doubt, just play it conservative. As for arrival, try to get there a little early to collect your thoughts. But here is the absolute golden rule. Never arrive late without an explanation. If a sudden emergency pops up, always call. They understand traffic and life happenings, but you're only considered late if you don't give them a heads up.
All right, let's fast forward to the moment you walk through the door. Section 2, Mastering First Impressions, the first 30 seconds.
In those very first 30 seconds, you are being evaluated. Winning behaviors are things like a firm handshake, sustained eye contact, and sitting up straight. And get this, interviewers actually love it when you pause to think before you answer. It shows thoughtfulness instead of just, rambling nervously. On the flip side, avoid mumbling, slouching, or rambling when you're stuck. And the ultimate deal breaker? Bad-mouthing a past employer. I don't care how terrible your old boss was, you absolutely must find a positive spin.
Here's a brilliant little micro-strategy to make that first impression really land. Find a common bond. When you walk into their office, do a quick visual scan. Look for something you sincerely identify with. See a college diploma on the wall? You could break the ice by saying, "Oh, did you attend Penn State? I went to the University of Michigan. What a great football conference." People naturally feel more comfortable with people they share a connection with. This one simple, sincere observation has literally given candidates the edge over equally qualified people in the past.
Moving right along into the core of the meeting. Section 3, Navigating the Questions, the interrogation room reimagined.
You're going to face a few specific categories of questions. First up are case questions. Consulting firms heavily use these to test your analytical and problem-solving skills. They might say, describe a managed care company you think is successful, what works, what are their problems, and what's your outlook for their future. You might also get industry-specific questions to test your market knowledge, like, if you were the CEO of Microsoft's main competitor, what actions would you take in the online services market? They basically just want to see how your brain untangles complex, real-world business puzzles.
Then we have behavioral or situational questions. The whole idea here is simple. Past actions are the best predictor of future behavior. So instead of hypotheticals, they'll ask, tell me about a time your team couldn't move forward because of an interpersonal conflict. They want the gritty details of exactly how you responded and your specific role. This is where your prep work pays off. You pull a real, truthful example to show your adaptability, responsibility, and leadership. Finally, we have the curveballs, brain teasers. These are quick, sometimes totally bizarre questions designed to see how you handle sudden, unexpected information, where the most obvious answer isn't always the right one.
Let me put you in the hot seat for a second. Which would you rather receive? 50,000 pennies or a 10 by 10 by 10 room filled with pennies? Take a second. Think about how you'd start calculating that out loud. See, it's not actually about knowing the exact dollar value of a room full of copper on the spot. It's about letting the interviewer listen in on your critical thinking process while you're under pressure.
So, whatever type of question they throw at you, here's your master strategy. Listen carefully before you speak. Be 100% truthful. Don't lie about something you haven't done, because their next question will always be, oh, tell us about it. You have to know every single fact on your resume cold, because that piece of paper is their only reference point for you. Don't embellish your accomplishments. And finally, even if you really hit it off with the interviewer, keep it professional. Don't let a friendly, comfortable vibe trick you into oversharing.
Okay, let's take a quick detour to Section 4, the phone interview screen, the remote hurdle. The biggest thing to understand about the phone screen is its objective. You have one singular goal here, to gain an invitation for an in-person interview. That is it. Your job is simply to sell your skills enough over the line to secure that face-to-face meeting. Since they can't see your visual cues, your phone prep has to be flawless. Keep a pad, pen, and your resume right in front of you. Find a totally quiet space with zero background noise. Avoid cordless phones. They can transmit poorly, and you really want a crystal clear connection. Speak loudly, keep it conversational, and let the interviewer do most of the talking before you logically expand on your answers. Oh, and here's a massive pro tip. Actually smile while you're talking. I know it sounds cheesy, but your enthusiasm and positive tone literally carry right through the phone line.
All right, you've answered the final question, but you're not done just yet. Section 5, the strategic follow-up, the finish line.
Before you let out that big sigh of relief, you have an exit strategy to execute. First, ask them when they expect to make a decision or get back to you. Second, grab business cards from everyone you spoke with. If they don't have them, just ask the secretary for names and emails. Thank them genuinely on your way out. Then, within one day, send a brief thank you message to every single person who interviewed you. You want to reconfirm your interest, highlight how your skills fit, and express your appreciation. And don't sweat snail mail, an emailed thank you works just perfectly. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to remember this awesome piece of advice on the psychology of persistence. Approach every interview as if it's the most important interview you ever had, and you will come out a winner. You've got to keep your energy high. Because look, here's the reality. Sometimes you'll sit down, and within 10 minutes you'll realize, wow, this job is absolutely not for me. But don't you dare give up on the interview. Keep going like it's the most important thing in the world. Why? Because it's a free practice run. Not all interviews lead to job offers, but a bad interview today is literally the perfect training ground for your dream job tomorrow. So maintain that enthusiasm until you walk out the door.
So, bringing it all back to where we started, that critical two-way street. You know the prep, you know how to master the first 30 seconds, decode the questions, and follow up like an absolute pro. The mystery is totally gone. So the only question left for you is, who are you going to go evaluate next? Get out there and find the fit that's perfect for you.